DGE 7.1 now supports cloud, and we support cloud very specific platforms such as SharePoint Online and OneDrive for Business. Those are the two platforms that we support out of the box in DGE. And when I say support, I mean you're able to add those as managed hosts. You're able to browse the resources within those platforms, within the instances of those platforms. You're able to calculate perceived donors, govern the resources, things like that. Here we are in data governance. I'm logged in as a data governance administrator, and I can see that I have a set of managed hosts there that I've managed, I've deployed agents to. I have another set here that are not managed, that are just waiting for agents to be deployed to watch. And then over here in the task menu, I have a few options for managing different types of hosts. So we have DFS, we have NFS, and now we have manage cloud hosts. So this is new in DGE 7.1. And I'm going to just expand the screen a little bit so you can see a little bit more. There we go. So here we are at the add a managed host cloud host screen. So a lot of the settings look the same. You see security scanning, managed path, agents, very similar to what we have for other platforms that we support. But now we have this authentication page where you need to enter your Office 365 domain and login credentials. So if you have SharePoint Online, this is asking for your admin account that the DGE service and the DGE agents are going to use to get everything set up. And ultimately, the agents are going to use the information that we get back, the tokens from this authentication process, to perform the resource enumeration, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enter my Office 365 domain, which is dgeprod.onmicrosoft.com. I'm going to enter my email and my password, and then I'm going to select continue. Here, now I've been redirected to Microsoft logon page, so I'm going to enter my password again and sign in. Now on this screen, Microsoft is asking for authorization to allow the DGE Cloud Proxy access to the platform instance. So actually you're saying, Microsoft, I am okay with this cloud proxy talking to you. So this is basically required in order to go ahead and add an agent that's going to be able to target that cloud platform. So I'm going to go accept. And now I'm authenticated as my admin credentials. So I'm going to go ahead and deploy an agent. In cloud, in DGE, you must have an agent. So just like any remote agent for NetApp or EMC, you have to select and deploy an agent. That agent will be responsible for talking to the cloud. In this particular case, I'm just going to pick my local machine, pick your service account, and go add. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the agent for your cloud instance will need to have access to talk to the internet. It kind of goes without saying, but now that we've added cloud into the mix, there are some components that will need access to the internet. So your agent will need it, your cloud agent, and also the manager. That you saw that cloud provider, that login screen that started up, that's talking to the internet. So there's two components that need internet access. It's just something new as part of the cloud support. So I've added my agent, and now I'm going to add, like I would some other platforms, I'm going to add a managed path. So I'm going to drill into the Matico subsite, and I'm going to pick a couple of folders within here. So let's pick APAC Finance, EMEA Finance, and North America Finance. Those are my managed paths within cloud. And then security scanning, just like our other platforms, we have the same screen for security scanning schedule. I'm just going to check immediately scan on agent restart or when managed paths change, and I'm going to go OK. So now DGE is deploying my agent for SharePoint Online. In this case, I'm deploying the agent to the local machine. You might not do that in a production environment. This is my demo lab, so obviously it's I'm limited by the number of machines I have, so I'm just going to deploy it locally. And here you can see that that agent is actually scanning those cloud folders. It's looking for security, right? It's updating security index. It's updating the QAM trustee table. So it's doing what the other agents would normally do, agents for our typical platforms. It's just targeting the cloud. So once this is done scanning, and it shouldn't take too long because I have a fairly small data set, There. Now we have data available. And data available means the agent has completed its scan. It has everything stored locally in its SQLite databases, and it's updated to DGE. Again, QAM trustees that it finds, security index items, all of that. So now I can double click on this managed host and I'll drill into those folders. Finance documents. Let's look at North America Finance. And there we go. So we're actually, you can see the security on that cloud resource. You can see some of the groups that I have created. So the finance reader group, the finance writer group, those were collected by the cloud agent. There's a lot of things that I can do here. The new calculate perceived owners, for example, the enhanced calculate perceived owner calculation will look at the security on that resource. And here it's actually found an Office 365 account, Clarence Muse, who is the suggested owner. There's a couple of other accounts there, but those accounts have not been associated with employees, and that's why they're not available to select as a business owner for the resource. So in DGE, everything is associated with employees, including business ownership of governed resources. In this particular environment, only Clarence is associated with an employee. So I'm going to go ahead and set the owner of that resource to be Clarence Muse. So now I'm going to log into the web portal as the business owner of that resource. So now logged in as Clarence Muse, the owner, under My Responsibilities, Govern Data, we now have a SharePoint Online resource. North America Finance, who we've assigned to Clarence Muse. Governed data type is cloud folder, and even risk has been calculated on this governed resource. So it's been associated with a risk of 0.09, and we can take a look at the calculation and why it decided that was the risk for that resource. Select the resource, and you can see it's a cloud folder owned by myself, well, Clarence Muse, who I'm logged into. You can classify your resource, for example, one of the new features in DGE 7.1. So I can pick a classification level. Let's pick restricted, save. So again, business owner of cloud resources within DGE, able to classify their resources. Things like risk, I can see the risk attributes that have attributed to the calculation of the risk index. We have reports, so we have cloud resource access report, context sensitive to the resource that the business owner is looking at. Again, cloud support within DGE is mostly from the governance layer. You can calculate perceived owners, you can enumerate resources, you can do some fine-grained access reporting, for example, resource access reporting, and there you go. So that's cloud support in DGE 7.1.